Hello, hello. Happy Sunday. Well, shoot. Let me see here. I'm going to have to turn this. It looks like I thought I had it just right. Happy Sunday. Hang on. Let's see if I can get this to turn. Did we get it? Let's see what's happening here. Well, doggone it. We're still crooked. No, all right, hold on. We're gonna try this again. Good morning, Anna. Yeah, now it's upside down. I know. It's crazy. Hold on here. I had it all set up. Let's see here. Let's try this. Is it still upside down? What the heck? One more time, huh? Okay, let's see here. We're gonna get this. Good gracious. Yeah, sometimes sometimes it works just wonderful right off the bat, but today I was kind of rushing, so, oh, here we go. Well, that'll work, except for I'm not getting the whole, let's see here. I'm not getting the whole picture in there. Let's see here. Let's see, I'm waiting for my computer to catch up so I can see if we're okay here. Hello, Margaret. It seems like I missed somebody else that popped in. I apologize if I did. How's this, everybody? Is this gonna work? I'm gonna have to let my dogs out. Hang on here. All right. Of course you have to do that because Dad's not home to help, huh? Go on. Put the white thing on top of my stand. Yep, let's try that. Except for, I don't know, this is my magnetic. Let's try that. Maybe we'll have a little more room. This is my Make Art station. I just got it, and I don't know how in the world I lived without it for as long as I did, honestly. I don't know if that's gonna work. Maybe I can put it on the stand. Hang on here. I might just have to start over, for goodness sakes. This is the way it goes sometimes, you know. Let's see here. All right, let's give that a sec to adjust. Hi, Florence. How's everybody doing today? I've had such a great morning. My daughter came home and she made me scones for Mother's Day, which I thought was really awesome. Boy, you know, that's such a limited view. I hope that's gonna work. We'll give it a try. And we'll go from there. We'll see what happens. How's that sound? And if we need to adjust, I guess we'll figure it out. I'm all about going with the flow today. So today we are going to create this adorable little card. And I did something that was a little bit outside of my comfort zone because, you know, that's what's fun about it. Yes, I did feel very, very lucky, Anna. They were cranberry orange oatmeal scones with a wonderful orange glaze, and I ate so much that I'm feeling like I just need to lay back down and go take a nap. But it was pretty sweet. And then my son's gonna be here this evening And he and his lovely wife are going to cook me dinner, and my daughter too. So it's going to be so awesome. All right, well, I will get started. Thank you so much for being with me here today. I hope that you're enjoying the May Madness. There's been so many amazing different techniques and colorings and examples featuring this adorable Here Comes the Sun set. And some of you are lucky enough to already have it. And there it is right there. This is fast becoming one of my very favorite stamp sets. I can do so much with it. It's really awesome. We're going to use the little gal in the raincoat, and I thought it might be fun if we tried to use the May sketch, which is what this is. And it's, you know, the thing about sketches that's so awesome is it's kind of your interpretation of it. So this puddle, if you will, is the sort of ovalish piece at the bottom of that. And then we're going to use the raindrop stencil and the Krafty Scenery 2 stencil, I believe it's called. And we're going to color and we're going to do a little fussy cutting. So who's ready for some fun? Hi, Carrie. All right, and now I gotta let my dogs back in. Hang on, sorry. You guys need to stop that. Get in here. Honestly. My husband said, "Are you sure you don't need me to stay home and take care of the dogs?" And I said, No, go do your thing. They'll be fine. They've been sleeping all morning. They'll be just fine. Ha. We shall see how fine they are. Oh, no worries. Thanks, Anna, for popping in. Have a good day with your family. Okay, so we're going to start with this particular card. If you are frugal or you want to try it, I didn't feel brave enough. This here is just a normal A2 card base, so it's 5.5. So it's 5.5 by 4.25 is the size. And I took a panel after I used the stencil on it and then, you know, glued it on top of there. But if you would like to try to stencil it with, you know, right on your card base, go for it. I would suggest just putting like a piece of copy paper or whatever across the top so that you don't extend your raindrops. You could, I guess, also fold it. We could try that and see how that works. In fact, why not? Let's give it a try. But if you have cut one piece of paper, 4.25 by 5.5, that's the one we're going to start with for the stencil. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of get my stencil out somewhere I put it. And I'm using Salty Sea. But any one of the fabulous Kraftin Kimmie blues would work wonderfully for these raindrops. I've got so many options, it's crazy. So I'm just gonna put this on here to get it going. I'm gonna start it kind of up like this way, because what I did is I went and added a few more raindrops to my panel. I wanted them to show a little bit more. And I loved how Carrie, Crafty Girl Carrie's raindrops were at an angle when she did hers. So if yours is not exactly straight, that's okay. If you want it at an angle, do that. I don't know how, honestly, I just don't know how I ever lived without this Make Art Station. These magnets for holding a stencil down are absolutely fantastic. Okay, so let's start with our Salty Sea. And like I said, if you don't have Salty Sea, that's okay. Grab any blue that you do have. They're all really beautiful with this raindrop stencil. So I'm going to start by, I'm using just a finger dauber for this one. And my stencil, I used this really pretty glitter, it wasn't a paste, it was some sort of a glitter gel or something on this stencil, and I can't get it completely off. So I've noticed that every once in a while it kind of smears my raindrops, but I'm not super concerned about it. Yours, initially when I very first used mine, it didn't do that at all. It was fine. Looks like I'm not completely on the page here. I'm going to move in a little bit more. So I'm just going to start by filling in some of my raindrops. And I'm kind of a heavy inker on my stencils. I like them to kind of be darker, but right now what I'm doing is I'm just kind of going through and I'm hitting trying to get every one of these to start with. And the lovely thing about these Kraftin Kimmie hybrid inks too are that they, you know, they blend in or fill in, I guess is the word I want to use, even darken up just a little bit after they set for a sec. I love these. I've loved these inks so much. Right, and honestly, because we're going to cover most of this, I guess I should have told you, you don't need to do the whole thing. I just kind of got in a mode. I was talking and messing around, so I'm just going to kind of avoid that middle section. But the bottom here, we do want to get in there pretty good. Move this over a little bit. I know, Carrie, I heard you say the other day on your video that Salty Sea was your favorite, and it is my very favorite too for anything that's water. I love, 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 love it. Oops, here I am in the middle again. How silly of me. Okay, so that's, like I said, I'm just kind of filling in. Now what I'm going to do, because I want more of the raindrops to show, because when I take this off, you'll see. But I want, because if I lay my panel over this, after it's decorated, it would be okay. I just want to see more raindrops. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to lay the stencil and I'm going to fill in some of the littler raindrops in the spaces where it's, where I have kind of white space, just to kind of give it a little bit more. So now I'm going to take it a little off center. And now I'm just going to be focusing on the little guys, the little raindrops. Oops, I lost my dauber. There it is. I'm going to move it on this side so I don't keep reaching in front of you. Alrighty, so I'm just filling in. And these ones I might do just a little bit darker. Like I said, I'm kind of I like it. That way we'll have a little bit more contrast maybe in between. What I love about this stencil, oh, I love lots of things about this stencil actually. I was so excited when we brought in a raindrop stencil because I kept thinking of wanting one for such a long time for several of the stamp sets that we have. Puddle Pals is one for sure. But I like that because there's good space in between the drops so that you can move it around and not have to worry about being too precise and getting over the top of another spot. So like if these big raindrops are really close to the little ones, it would be harder to do this, but I love how I can kind of move it around and make it how I want it to be. All right, so see how that's adding some little raindrops in there. So I'm gonna go, let's see, I'm gonna add just a couple more here. I'm just kind of messing around, like where I want it, where I think it looks kind of good. So I'm just kind of moving it and you know, being silly with it. That's okay though. And here I'm gonna tip it just a little bit because I want to kind of get it in there. So here we go again. I mean, they are in a rainstorm, right? Okay, so let's see here. I'm going to keep hitting my panel on here just so I can kind of see where I'm at. Couple more. Kind of a raindrop stinker today, aren't I? Let's see here. So I'm going to do here, and I'm going to do there, and I'm going to move it over just a hair. Use this guy right there. All right. Oops, I see one more I want to do in there. Thank you, Margaret. Okay, so there's the top. Now I'm just going to keep kind of doing that. I'm just going to look for where I want to add a little bit more rain. And again, it's awesome that it's so versatile that I can just kind of move it around here or there. And it's nice with this dauber, I can do it really, really quick too. Let's see here, let's go over here. All right, then we're gonna move down here, and this one looks like it could use a bigger one, so I'm gonna grab the bigger space here. And it's gonna go partially off the page, that's okay. Seriously, you know, if you're someone that has, and you know, every once in a while I think I might have an issue with having things be too, like, I don't know, in a pattern. I try really hard not to let myself get hung up on that, but I do know that that is something that I struggle with sometimes. So I'm trying really hard to just be kind of okay with where things end up. Just filling in where I like them. Hopefully I'm still in frame. You guys will have to let me know. I'll look up every once in a while. I apologize to see if I need to adjust. And then we're gonna, after this pan, we're done kind of putting the raindrops where we want them, we're going to go ahead and ink the edges of the whole panel. Let's see, let's put a biggie in there. Type A personality. Oh, I don't know about that, Carrie. You are so go with the flow and everything. It's just, I'm so impressed with the cool backgrounds that you make and the way you're just like so free, you know, just so willing to try it and let it go and flow. And I'm just always in awe of your amazing backgrounds. They're so cool. Let's see here. But yeah, I mean, I drive myself nuts sometimes. Like, it'll take me an hour to place 2 dots. It's ridiculous. I try really hard not to let myself do that. But, you know, we are who we are sometimes, no matter what. If we like it or not, that's the way it is. Let's see. I think I'm getting pretty close to being okay with how it is. Let's see here. I'm going to put a little bit more of a edge right there. Maybe one over here. Of course, Carrie. You're so welcome. Hello, Danielle. I'm off camera. Oh, thank you. Okay, so I better watch this, see if I can catch up with where I'm at here. Do I need to come down, up? Let's see, I'm gonna have to stand up and look at my phone. Where am I at? Up, I need to come up. Up, up, up. There we go. Sorry about that. With my phone tipped the wrong way, my window is very weird today, but I figured rather than stop and start again, we would just try to go with it. Okay, I think I'm good with that. And then, like I said, our panel is going to go over the top of that. Oh, look how cute that is. That's adorable. Oh, nope, I see a spot that needs a raindrop. I see a spot that needs a raindrop. Right there. Doesn't probably need it, but my brain says it does, so I'm going to put it in there anyway. Okie doke, I'm not touching it anymore. I'm going to go with it. And now I'm going to just take this and I'm going to edge it really good. I apologize, I should stand up so I can see if I'm still in frame. Where am I at here? Okay. Thanks for being patient with me, you guys. If this gets too irritating that we can't see what I'm doing, will you let me know? And if we need to stop and have me readjust the camera, you know, it seems to me that when I get it all out of whack, I usually have to stop it and restart it, and I kind of didn't want to do that to you guys because it's also hard for people who are trying to watch the replay to come back and see it later when there's, you know, 2 or 3 parts. But I've done it. I mean, good heavens knows I've done it for sure. I'm not a expert at this video thing by any means, but it sure is fun to share, and you know, I learn something every time I do it too, so good, bad, and otherwise. Usually good. Oops, all right. So I dropped my dauber. I'm just gonna grab my pad and I'm just gonna go around the edge. That's also a really quick way to get an edge on your panel. Okay, so there's that. We're gonna let that dry. I'm gonna set it aside and let it dry. And next we will start our scene in the middle panel, which, as a point of reference again, let's move the card in there so you can see it. We're gonna start working on this next. And so what I used for that was the Krafty Scenery 2 stencil. And I'm trying to think, now I did it, the first time I did it, I don't know, kind of a hard way maybe, so I was trying to think this morning about how I might do it a little bit easier. And so I'm just gonna move this out of the way. Where's my other panel? Here's my panel. What I did on this one is I did the trees first, then I filled in with the blue, and then I did the trees again, just a little bit over it. And it worked okay. I'm debating on, I think what we'll do is we'll do the trees very lightly, then do the blue. So I've got the mossy meadow, the goblin green, sorry, is that too close? I am off camera again, doggone it. This is the mossy meadow, the goblin green, the bubbly blue. Then down here I've got the salty sea and a little of the lovely lagoon splashed in there. This is also the goblin green, but it's super lightly and quickly swooshed across the bottom for the grass. And what I had done when I had done the trees before is I did all the trees, and then I used the mask, if you will, to cover them with some double-sided sticky tape so that I could do the blue around them. But what I found when I did that is like it kind of left a little bit of a light ring because there's just enough of a height difference, I guess, with the sponge that I was using that it didn't quite get down in there. So this time we're going to try it a little bit different. It's an experiment. It's a learning thing. We'll see how it goes. So I've got my panel here, and I'm hoping, gosh, I hope that's in there. I wish there wasn't such a lag between what we see in the computer and what's on our phone. So I'm going to go ahead and put my magnets on there just to help keep me together here. And actually first I'm going to go ahead and create the puddle, if you will, because I want to know where that's at. And now I got to get down on the floor and find where my sponge dauber rolled away to. Hang on, I'll be right back. Oh, it's clear over there. Okay, it's perfect, good, thank you. Okay, so back to the salty sea, and this time we're gonna create the puddle. I gotta keep this here where I can see it so I don't forget what the heck I'm doing. And seriously, all I did here is I just kind of I started from the corner and I just kind of made it kind of a little bit of an oval, if you will. So I'm just kind of filling it in. They were out on a hike, they came across a big puddle in the mountains. They couldn't resist and they started jumping in. So this is And it doesn't need to be perfect because, you know, it's kind of water, but just the idea of the shape. And then what I did is I took my lovely lagoon and I took just the little cube. And I used the very edge of it and I just sort of swooshed in some water streaks because water has movement. Probably more than I needed in there, but that's okay. And then I took the Salty Sea again and went over that again to kind of blend it out a little bit. And they don't really react with each other, but you know, if you get them when they're pretty fresh, I guess, it does mute it down a little bit, you know, smooths it out. It's kind of like the idea of the Copics, more or less. As you layer it, it kind of builds on there. So I may mess with those a little bit more after actually maybe I'll do that now. Just kind of swoosh in a couple more the other direction. There, we'll see. All right, and one more time with the Salty Sea. All right, so that's a lot darker than I did it last time, but that's okay. All right, so that's the water, and that tells me where my line is. Now I'm going to start working on my trees, and I'm going to start with the Mossy Meadow ones first. Well, shoot, I don't know where my Mossy Meadow. Haley, stop. No barks. No barks. All right, folks, sorry. I'm very disorganized today. I can't find my Mossy Meadow dauber. I'll be right back. Hey! No. No barks. Heavens, you guys, I'm so sorry. Here we go again. All right, so, and then it was sitting right there in front of my face. All right, so we're going to start with, I'm just going to really, really, really lightly put my first tree in there. And that's just so that I know where I want my second one to go. So actually, I'm going to start with the Goblin Green as a first layer. Pele, stop it. Pele. That's the last time I tell my husband he can leave when I'm doing a live video. Okay, so this is the Goblin Green, and like I said, I'm just going to give it a first little bit so that I know where I want it, because I want to tuck my small tree behind my bigger tree, and I'm going to want to go over it again, and I'm going to want to go over it after I put the sky in there, so just so I know kind of where it's at. So that's my first tree. And like I said, then I know that I'm going to want this little tree to kind of be tucked in there. So I'm going to put it in there, and I'm going to switch to the Mossy Meadow to keep them separate so I know where they're at. Thank you, Danielle. On the panel, I'm just catching up with my comments here. Let's see, I'm going to try to not get my hand in the way. Okay, so this is the Mossy Meadow. Pele, stop. That girl, I tell ya. Okay, so there we go. Now I'm going to focus on the outer edge of it because I know that that's where I want the darker parts to be. And I'm not going to go too dark because, again, I got to do the blue, so I'm going to be going over this again. So right now I'm just getting this, you know, I love this stencil, Carrie, so much. It's ridiculous. I really am just so excited about this stencil. Let's see, let's bring this tree here. We'll just do another big green tree. So switching again to the goblin green. And again, I'm just putting them down where I want them because I want to get my blue in there. And I know that I'm gonna want to go over it again anyway so that it covers up and the tree looks like it's in the forefront. Let's see, what's next? One more big tree. Haley, stop. My goodness, girlfriend. All right, we're gonna go right about there. Dog acts like there's ghosts in the house with us or something. She won't stop growling at whatever it is she's growling at. Let's see here. Okay, so then I need another big tree and I'm going to need a small tree. So we're getting there, folks. Let's see here. Let's do this one right about there. Yep, that'll work. Is anyone coloring along with me today, or are you just watching for now? All right, and then we're going to do a small one again. Let's see, do we want a medium size or a small? Let's go ahead and we'll do a small, I guess, since I've already got it all inked up. Okay, and then maybe that's it, Sheila. I don't know. Usually, you know, of course, if there's someone else, oh, you know what? That's what I didn't do is I didn't turn the television on. If the television is on, that sound sort of masks any of the other real light sounds that happen that seem to make her want to growl constantly. All right, so that's just our base. Oh, good. You're coloring on something else while we're doing it. That's awesome. That's our base. Let's quickly fill in some blue sky just so we know where that's at. And I use the bubbly blue for the sky. Ooh, I gotta put my panel over here so I don't accidentally drop something on it. That would be a bummer. Okay, so let's see here. Let's do our sky. And I'm just gonna go over, whoops, sometimes, see that didn't dry quite enough. I'm gonna focus on this for a little bit here. Let's get some of the areas in there while we can. And maybe watching, but I'd have been prepared. I would have colored along because I actually have just, oh yay, you got that stencil. Good for you, Mary. Yeah, this is an awesome one. There are so many cool things that you can do with this stencil. The grassy edge is fantastic. It's one of my favorites to use. And then, you know, the way you can use the masks and stuff. You know, I'm going to kind of do something a little different this time. I'm going to kind of put almost like streaks, if you will, bigger streaks, and then the smoother parts of it to make it look like rain's coming down. Ah, you just finished lunch. Good job, Carrie. You know, I always forget. I always have to really, really think about the time conversion for me because I'm 2 hours. So for me, it's after 11. And when I set my times, I always have to be really careful that my brain then converts the Eastern time to my time so that I don't screw it up. Okay, so I'm gonna start filling in some more. It should be dry a little bit more over on this side. And if it's not, we're just gonna live with it. what we might do is set it aside and let it dry a little bit and start coloring. So now I'm kind of pouncing on there. So that it doesn't pick up the color so much. $12:35 there. Okay, so you're right in between the 2 time zones then, Sheila. Yep. So you have an hour that you always have to figure different. I have to figure 2. All right, so I'm gonna leave that alone for right now. I'm gonna set it aside, let it dry. We're gonna color our image for a bit. Then we're gonna come back to this, add some more blue, finish the trees, and then do the swooshing of the grass real lightly. But I'm gonna grab my, oh, for heaven's sakes, I forgot a piece of paper to stamp on for the images. I'll be right back. Okay, so I had stamped these 2 initially in Oklahoma. Okay. Margaret's only used it for grass. Yep, that's how I started out doing it too. And then this is actually, well, I think I might have used a tree or 2 on something else, but I haven't really done like a scene necessarily before this one. But I'm trying to get better at it because I see all these fantastic scenes that my crafty team does, and I have to try it. That's all part of the fun of it. All right, so I'm gonna stamp the images in gray, in the granite gray. I spent hours and hours and hours yesterday refilling my Copic markers and cleaning them and everything, and then realized that 2 of the colors that I have in the list, my Y19 and my Y32, 35, I don't have refills for, so I'm hoping that I've got enough of them in there for us to color. But if not, we might have a little bit different yellow, and that's okay. And if you don't have yellow and you're coloring along, use any color. Just have your, you just need like 4 variances of colors, 4 different pinks in the same family, darkers and lighters. So let's move this out of the way. And we'll start with Mr. Ducky. He's so cute, 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 cute. We'll start with him, and on the duck I used, pretty sure that's a Y19. So we'll start with the Y19. Oops, I gotta get my readers on. Okay, here we go. All right, so I'm just gonna start, and I'm gonna give him a little bit of fluff along the edges. And I'm just kind of flicking. I'm allowing it to go a little past my gray. That's okay. I want him to look kind of fuzzy. So I'm just flicking, flicking, flicking. Isn't he just the cutest? Oh my goodness, I just love him. that's gray, or sorry, gray, good heavens, Y19. Then we're going to jump to Y15. Same thing, only I'm just going to leave most of the darker in there, and I'm just going to come in a little bit more now with this next color. I'm only going to, oops, I got it in his eyeball. Going to get my colorless blender here. Thank goodness for the colorless blender. Okay, so we're just filling in now, and again, like I said, I'm not completely going over my first line. I'm just giving him a little more downy texture. And then I'm going to grab my Y11 and fill in some more. And it looks like I'm going to probably want to do a second layer. That's, oh goodness, he's adorable. He's so, so, so stinking cute. All right, that's Y11. Let's go back to our Y19 and let's fill in a little bit more again. Okay, and then we'll take the Y15 again. You can see I'm just kind of flicking, not being too precise. Oh, I know how to, okay. And then so this time, so I have the base of the ducky in 11. I'm going to grab 13 and kind of go over that with the 13. It's just a little too light in his body. Okay. And then sometimes I use a colored pencil to go in and darken areas if they kind of get covered up too much. So I'm going to grab, what do I have sharpened? That's the question here. This is burnt okra, and I'm just going to come in and I'm just going to add a little bit. And I'm going to avoid this area right now because I still have to color, and I don't want to, with my Copics, and I don't want to accidentally pick up the colored pencil with the Copic marker. So I'm going to leave that piece alone for the moment. I'll have to be careful around his little leggies. Alrighty, and then for his, her, whichever, however we want to think that this little person is, I think I used the T series on the beak. So I think that was a T3, T4, T5. So we'll start with the 5. There we go. And we'll just kind of fill in darker spaces. phone's a little shaky today. You guys are awful quiet. Are you still with me? Let's see, the husband's home. So the dog's in the bark. Alrighty. Sorry, everybody. Okay, so there's the beak, and then Carrie says yes. Thank you, Carrie. Nice to know. It's, you know, you get in a mode of just coloring, and really not much to say when you're coloring sometimes, right? You're just watching and listening. Alrighty, so I just am coming back through again. Now, after that dries, I'll probably give it one more quick touch up with the gray, or the darker, which is the 5. Alrighty, there's his little beak. You love the dogs barking. It sounds like your house. That's funny. Thank you, Carrie. It makes me feel better. It's so stressful to me when they start barking like crazy and I'm trying to do something. Let's see. So we need Y23 and 20 and 22 is what I've got in his mouth here. So I'm just kind of dotting it in there. That was 20. Oh, thank you, Margaret. And then I'm going to do the my mouth and my brain are not on the same speed today. This is the R22. And then come back in again really quick and just touch the corner of that. So there's his little mouth. Now for his eyes, actually I think I might have used like an N1, and I don't know that I listed that color. So I'm just going to come in and trace around his eyeball just to give it a little bit more definition. It looks like on my sample I actually probably came in with a colored pencil after the fact and gave his eyes a little bit more definition. So there's his eyes. And that was N1. Where'd my blender go? There it is. So my color kind of pulled in too far, so I'm just going to try to move it out a little bit here. And then, yeah, so with my colored pencil, oops, I don't really like how, so I'm just going to soften that a little bit by just kind of going along the edge of the gray so it doesn't have such a harsh line. There, that's a little better. Okay. Okay, and then his feet are YR 16, 15, 14, I believe. Let's see what we get here. Oops, wrong end. All right, so we're going to start by giving him coloring his little leggies. There we go. That was 16. And then this will be 15. Just kind of filling in a little bit. Again, not too much. And last is 14. And it doesn't take much of that at all. I'm just going to dot that in there where it was. Okay. Let's see here, and now I can take my pencil, if I can find where I laid it down. There we go. Let's sharpen it really quick. so now I'm going to come back in where I had kind of left it be a little bit more, and I'm going to fill in his little toes. And I'm going to stay away from the outer edge of his foot at the moment because of the water that I still need to do. I think I might have accidentally done one part of it, but not going to stress about it. And then we're just going to come in around his little eyeballs a little bit. Alright, and then I'm going to use for, well actually I'll wait and do his eyes last, the puddle. I think what I used on the puddle that's close to the salty sea, and since I know I'm going to fussy cut around here, I'm just going to go ahead and test that out. Yep, that's pretty close. So I believe I used the 13, the BG13, the BG10, or sorry, 11, 11 and 10, I might have done a little 13, and then the darker color around the puddle is BG72, which is kind of a fun color. Let's just quick check that. Yep, there's that. So I have BG10, BG11, and BG17 or 72, and I might use BG13 too. So let's start with the BG10, sorry. And we're just going to give it a good color wash. So, and I'm not going to focus on all these little splashes because they're not going to get included since I'm cutting around the image. So I'm just going to focus on filling in the color of the puddle. And actually, so because when I'm fussy cutting, this part right here is really hard to not include, and I don't want to leave it white, so I'm going to go ahead and fill that in too. Because that will kind of match our puddle. It sort of blends into our puddle. So let's see here. So we're just filling in the color. And then I'm going to take, next I'm going to use the BG72 and fill that in. And we're going to just around the edge and give him a couple of swoops. Did you know that swoop is a technical term in crafting? It is for me anyway. Alright, so there we go. And then I'm going to go over that with the BG11. And then I'm going to probably do again 72 after that. So I'm just going to kind of, I want to create some pockets of lighter. So some of these spots I'm just kind of leaving. Now I'm going to come back with my 72 again. Put little spots in between his toes a little bit. There we go. Alrighty. Then, now that I've done that part, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of, again, give a little more definition around the toes. And again, I'm using the burnt ochre color. I keep seeing spots up here that I want to add fuzz to. Alrighty. We're almost done with him, except for I want to, oops, I do want to, what do I want to say? His eyes. I want to make his eyes a little darker. So I'm going to grab my black pencil Thank you, Carrie. So I'm going to grab my black pencil and I'm just going to fill in these little eyes a little bit more. And then I think I'm going to take a darker gray pencil and go around. Let's see if I can find the right gray here. Maybe this color. Yep, that'll work. All right, pencil sharpener. Where did I put my pencil sharpener? Good Lord. Oh, here it is. Okay. So now I'm just going to give, just go around the eyes just a tiny bit more. And this is 70% cool gray. And I'm just going to come around where the beak is. Oh, darn it, I messed it up. That's okay. We're not going to worry about it. Here we go. Got kind of an odd shaped eyeball now because I kind of made it oval instead of oh goodness gracious. Oh well, he's still the cutest little ducky in the world, right? All right, so I'm just adding in just a little bit of there. That makes it a little better, I guess. Keep messing it up. Okay, where's my brush at? All right, and so then, since I've sort of bummed up his eyeball, I'm going to grab my white pencil. Makes his eyes pop. Yes, thank you, Kathy. Yeah, I'm just going to use my white pencil and just kind of blend where I've kind of gotten it a little too, what do I want to say? Uneven maybe is a good word to use. And then fill that in just a little bit there. There we go. That makes me feel a little better, I think, about how it looks. Okay, we are done with Mr. Ducky. And, oh yeah, I didn't used to either, Carrie, and now it's like I'm constantly using the pencils and the Copics at the same time, just for those little sorts of details that you can't get otherwise, it seems, just to fill in, especially if you don't want the real harsh black lines. It's helpful to have that in there. I find that I'm using them a ton, more than I ever thought I would. So there's our duck. If I can stop messing around with his eyes, that will be our duck. And now we can color our girl. And I used very similar colors on her. Let's see, I want to make sure she's in the frame all the way. So I'm going to see if it catches up with me here. And again, I used similar colors, but for her, I added a Y35, which is actually, I believe, if I remember correctly, I'm going to have to test it here. That's my Y35. And my Y19, I think, is actually darker. So I think I need to start, yep. So I need to start with, I'm actually going to start with my Y35. Thank you, Margaret. And I'm going to color in all of her parts that are darker. So there's that, her little hood. Let's see here. That's so funny. I just realized that I didn't start with her skin, and 99% of the time I start with the skin. That's so funny. I must be just in a different place today. All right, so that was Y35. Now we're going to come in with Y19. And yep, there we go. Come in and really fill in the darker parts. My fingers have they're still really stained from cleaning so many of my Copics yesterday. It was kind of funny. Alright, so there's Y19, and that's just our darker. I just wanted to kind of get a darker base in there again. And then we're going to go back to the Y35. Okay, then we're going to go back to Y35. And we're going to go in, kind of pick up some of that we just did. Blend it a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to take in, hi Pat, how are you? Nice to see you pop in. I am having a great day. Are you having a good day as well? Let's see, so this is Y15. And now I'm just kind of coming in again so that it gets a little more of that yellow tint to it. And I'm kind of going over where I've been with the Y35. And this time I'm going to fill in her pocket. Oh good, I'm glad, Pat. I wanted to go hiking this afternoon, but it's kind of getting cloudy and windy. Doesn't look so very nice. I don't know if I'm going to make it out for that or not. Alrighty, so that was YR15. Now I'm going to come in with 13. Oh, thank you, Carrie, for posting that link. 13 is right here, and we're just going to come in again, and I left a little bit too big of a spot there, so we'll blend it in with the other darker colors again. That is not to be worried about. We will get there. That's fine and dandy. So actually she's ending up with a little bit more of a orange raincoat than a yellow raincoat. That's okay. So that was wire 13. Let's see here. I think I've lost track of some of my comments, so I'm gonna see if I can. There we go. It's nasty in Illinois. Oh, it snowed bad? No way. Ugh, I'm tired of snow. My poor trees, they don't know what to do. My tulips are trying to pop out of the ground. Yeah, I'm just kind of tired of snow and cold. I want the flowers and the sunshine. Oh, but you know, actually I don't mind the rain I love when it rains at night. Alright, so because I left a little bit too much of I'm going to kind of fill it in. I hope. We'll see what happens here. And actually this little piece of paper that I grabbed was laying on my desk. And it's not my usual paper that I color on Copics with. I just am realizing why I'm struggling with my markers a little bit is because this has got, I don't know what this one is for sure, but it's not, I usually color with my Copics on this Stampin' Up! Whisper White regular paper. And this piece feels a little thicker and it's definitely got a rougher texture to it, so my Copics don't feel like they're blending quite as well. Yeah, you've had nasty rain in Illinois, huh? Yeah. Okay, so that was, let's see, 15. So now I'm going to come back in with, oh, good heavens, 13. And I'm just going to kind of circle blend here all over the place to kind of see if I can get some of this to blend in. And then what I'm going to do is after it's, you know, dries, if you will, a bit, then I'm going to come back in with the 19 one more time and just get some of the spots, the darker spots. Okay, so for now, I'm going to leave that be. Let's go and work on, I want to do the red last because it seems like every time I color red before something else, when I'm trying very, very hard not to, I still swoop through it and pick up the red somehow with my other colors. So let's jump to the puddle. And again, that was BG10. I opened the wrong end. I don't know what is wrong with me today. There we go, BG10. And again, we're just gonna swoosh it in there. Told you it was a technical term. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. That's BG10. And then we're gonna do BG11. Then we're going to grab our BG72. I remember where I put it. There it is. Okay, so and then we're going to come in. I'm going to pick up some of those splashes. Alrighty, and then one more time with the BG11, and I'm just going to kind of again try to create a little variation in the water to some degree. There, I think that's okay. We'll leave that for now. And then let's focus, let's go up and work on her skin. And for her skin tone this time I used the 50 series. Generally my go-to is the E04, E11, E21, E00, but I've been lately playing a lot with the E50, 50, 51, 53 series of colors, and so that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to start with E55, and I'm only going to put the ever so lightest swoop. I'm not going to go everywhere with this. I'm just going to create down here at the bottom of her little face, and where her chin is here, and just a little tiny bit at her part area here. Just a little. I don't want to, and around her mouth, I guess, a little bit. Alright, so just a tiny bit there. And then I'm going to grab, I'm going to take the E53 next. Yeah, no kidding. A good long time of some good old sunshine. Rain all night for the flowers, for the trees, for the grass. Sunshine during the day. Wouldn't that be lovely? Okay, so next would be E53. And this is also, you know, a little bit more of a tan tone. So I'm just going to go over where I was with the, and extend it up just a little bit this time. Go over where I was with the E55 because I didn't want to be too dark. And then I'm extending it the rest of the way so that there's a framework for her pretty little face. It's so funny when you do this, it always looks so weird at first. It's kind of an he's kind of scares you a moment when you look at it. It's like, oh my gosh, that's way too dark. It's gonna look funny. But it always works out. Well, I shouldn't say always, generally it does. Alright, so there's that. And then I'm going to jump to E51 and fill in a bunch more this time. Like it needed to do a little bit more blending around that eye. We'll get there. Like magic, right? Let's see here. We want to keep that a little bit darker. Okay, let's see, I just had a thought. Oh, blush. So she's got some little rosy cheeks, which is my R20. It's kind of my go-to for cheeks. I'm just going to dot a little on there. And then I'm going to go back over that with my E51. Kind of soften it and blend it out a little bit. We haven't let it dry too long. There we go. We're good. It's good. It's all good. Alright, there's her sweet little face. Thanks, Pat. It is funny. It's like you worry when you look at it. It's like, oh my goodness, that's just really dark. And then it does tend to kind of be okay. So I'm just going to come back in really, really soft here. As carefully as I can anyway, and add, here we go. We should probably do her hands, so let's do that. So this is the E53. I'm not going to use the 55 in her hands except for maybe if I go back in at the end if I feel like I need a little darker touch, but they're so dainty, these sweet little hands, that I don't want to end up with a big blob of too dark, which I may anyway. Let's let's see, and I'm gonna say she's got bare legs. That she's got some cute little bare legs, so we're gonna give her some skin tone on the leggies. Let's see, what's next? That was 53, 51. I got the sweetest homemade card from my daughter today. I bawled and bawled and bawled. It was so sweet. I'm gonna have to share it. She did a 10 reasons why she loves her mama, and she drew these adorable little images in there too. Oh, it was so cute. Like I said, I cried. All right, so I'm coming back in again with the 53 just to hit a couple of the spots that I want to make sure they stand out a little bit. Really carefully. Alright, there's her sweet little legs and hands. Oh goodness, I forgot the top of her raincoat. We better do that. Let's see, so we'll go 19 in the darker parts. I'm gonna have to turn her for a sec here. There we go. I generally turn my images a ton when I'm coloring. All right, then let's do the 35 if I can find it. Yep. Let's turn it again. Let's see here. Okay. And do I want 15? Yeah. And 13 over the top of that real quick. I'm so glad my markers are holding out. It works well, huh? Let's see, where was I? 19, I need. We got a little bit of a funky gap here we gotta fill in real quick. There we go. Alrighty. Okay, and like I said, we're just gonna come in now. We've let it sit for a bit, so these will show up a little bit more. And we'll fill in with, this is the Y19 again. All right, let's see, shall we do her hair? Let's do her hair. Actually, we could probably do her little smile. What I did with her smile is trying to remember what I did. Let's see. So this is R22, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to leave just the tiniest bit of white right at the top so that it kind of looks like her teeth in there. And then I am going to come back around her mouth a little bit more, because I've kind of lost her smile in all of this, but we'll get it. Is this a stamp set? Yes, Kathy, this is a stamp set. It's called Here Comes the Sun. And Carrie posted, if you look up in the comments a bit, oops, I kind of covered her teeth. That's all right. We're going to give her just a smile this time, I guess. Because I was talking and I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing, so that's okay. If you look up in the comments, Carrie posted a link to the stamp set. It's the stamp of the month, which is kind of a new thing that Kimmie is doing, which is awesome. So each month we're trying this for a while to see how it works. We have a stamp of the month, and then we feature a weekend where we show you all kinds of fun inspiration with the stamp set. That is the stamp of the month, and so that's why you see a lot of us this weekend using the Here Comes the Sun stamp. And I love this set so much. It's absolutely makes my heart happy. Let me see, I set it somewhere. I'll show you the whole set if I can find it. Let's see here. I'll flip this over so that you can see it maybe. Can you see it in there? Oops, got it upside down. Here we go. So this is the stamp set, and we are coloring this little ducky here and this sweet girl here. So let's see. All right, so we did her, let's see here. Let's do her hair. And her hair I did in the E40 series, I believe. Nope, sorry, lied. It's the E30 series on her hair, I think. I can't remember what I said, but that's okay. So I'm going to start with E37. If you're playing along and I gave you different colors, if you're using different colors, I apologize. I don't think anybody's actually coloring along. So if you do later, you can use the colors or you can use these. So we're going to come in and just start with where her darker parts of her hair are. Cute little haircut. And we're going to bring it up. I'm going to have to turn this. Let's see, we're going to come down in her part, around her little face, up under her rain bonnet. All right, and I'll probably have to come over this again, so I'm laying down kind of the foundation. Next up is 35, I think, is what I use next. And actually what I'm going to do before I do that is I'm going to come through with E31 and fill in some of the spaces. Hopefully that's on there for you still. Is she in frame enough? Let's bring her down a little. All right, so we're going to just fill in some E31. And then I'll go ahead and take the E35 and bring in some more. Oops, did I grab the right one? I did. Okay, cool. There's 35. and then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take a brown. Before I do that, I got a couple spots I got to touch up here real quick. What was I gonna say? Oh, a brown pencil. And in this case, I use a pretty dark one. Let's see, I think it is this guy. Yep. Alright, so this is going to be dark brown. We're going to use dark brown. Okay, and we're going to fill in. We're just going to get some of these fine details in there. Then we're just going to go ahead and deepen the line. One of my longer colorings. I don't know that I've ever done one over an hour. I'm starting to feel a little stressed, but I'm hoping that it's okay for all of you, that you're enjoying it, and it's time-wise we're okay, so that we can finish the card. We're getting close. Alright, so let's see, we could do her eyes real quick. And there I think I just used, yep, I used a gray, but you know, we could give her brown eyebrows. So I don't want this to move on me while I'm doing it, so I'm just going to color in her little eyebrows a little bit better. Since she's got brown hair, let's give her a brown eyebrow. And I'm going to fill in her mouth just a tiny bit. I was feeling like her mouth was getting lost, and her nose. And then I'm going to take my gray marker around her eyes. I better probably sharpen that just a little bit. That's so kind of you, Pat. Thank you. All right, let's see here. So let's fill in her little eyes. Oh, you know what? I just realized that I should have probably colored in her eyes with the Copics before I did this, but I think what I'll do is go ahead and just use colored pencils then on her eyes. Okay, and then my hands are shaky today. All right, blue pencil for her eyes. Let's give her some pretty blue eyes. I had used, when I had colored her with my Copics, I had used B21 and 23. And I'm nervous now. I don't want to color over the top of her, of the pencil with my Copics, so I'm just going to go ahead and just color her in here quickly. It looks so funny until you add the pupil. There's that, and then I'm just going to touch in Thank you, Margaret. And then this is so the last one I used, this is True Blue. I used light cerulean blue. So I'm going to take this True Blue and just bring up, just in the very corners, just a tiny, tiny bit of the darker blue. Just so there's a little bit of a contrast. And then I'm going to fill it in again. Kind of making it up as we go today, but that's, it's all right, right? And then we need her pupil in there. So where'd my black marker go? So we're going to go ahead and fill in her pupil. Oh, she's so cute. All right, there's her eyes. So let's do her red now so we can get her going. And the reds I used for her are 27, R24, and I think 22 maybe. Where's my R22? All right, so we're gonna start with, I don't know that I did use 22. So I'm gonna start with R 24. There it is. Okay. And let's see, I kind of buggered up her eyes. I'm just gonna So I'm just filling in where I can see that I kind of messed up her eye a little bit. There we go. That's better. Makes me feel better anyway. Not that it would probably really be noticeable, but one of those things. Okay, let's, boots. Her eyes just popped, thank you. All right, so this is R24. So I'm gonna come in with it first. And come around my buttons. The thing about red that I've noticed is and I just did it myself as I was going to tell you not to do it, but if you don't go all the way to the very line, because it does tend to, I think, spread a little bit more than other colors. Alrighty, so this is R24. And again, I'm just kind of getting it down there so that I know. The general gist of where I want the red at. That was R24. Now we're going to do R27. Nope, I lied to. We're going to do R29. And, oop, the wrong end. All right, R29. And we're going to come in and I'm going to go where I want my, darn it. There we go. The nice thing when you do the, I'm not going to call this the no lines technique because there's definitely lines, but the granite gray really does help. For me, no lines technique is hard because I can't, when I don't have a line to follow, I have a hard time seeing it anyway, really. So, but granite gray, when you go over it with your Copics, does tend to fade out enough that you get kind of that effect. And so that's kind of cool. And the nice thing that I was going to say about no lines technique is that when you go a little bit over because your fingers are shaky or whatever, It's not as obvious because you don't have an absolute definite line to give you away, just like I just did there. Let's see, and then the boots here, so she's got got to be careful of her and leave her little sole. So we can do that. Alright, so that's my darkest, and then I'm going to come in with the R27 as the last color blush on that. Before, well, no, I'll do this first, I guess. I was going to say I'll do the black buttons first, but I think what I'll do is I'll do this first. So this, oops, I moved it. Where'd it go? There we go, R27. And this is our last. I did the R29 last time, so here's the R27. So let's just fill this in. And then I'm going to come over it one more time with the R24 in a couple of spots. So just so that it blends a little better. Goodness, she's just so stinking cute. Alright, so that's R27. Now we're going to do one more, whoops, final pass through of the R24. Oh goodness, I've totally spaced her pockets. I'm gonna go back and take care of those, huh? All right, pockets, we gotta do pockets. Pockets, pockets, pockets. So 29, this is our 29 again. And then 27 we want. All right, so let's there we go. Her little boot was looking kind of funny to me. Okay, so I'm going to come in with a colored pencil on her boots, but before I do that, I am going to, let's do her buttons real quick. And those I think were like a T5 or let's see, I have a T4 somewhere on my desk here. Let's do that. There we go. Let's do the T4 on her buttons. There we go. Let's grab the YR15, if I can find it, it's somewhere in my desk. And let's just give her pocket a little bit more depth real quick. I shouldn't, I was very lucky I didn't come into that red. Usually I do. And then on here, gosh, careful. All right, so she is, let's see, we need to do the bottoms of her shoes. And I think I used an N4. Let's try an N4 on the bottom of her shoes. Her rainy boots. Yeah, that'll work. Oh my goodness, she is just so cute. I can't stand it. All right, there's that. I'm just gonna quickly come in with, hey Kim, how are you? Are you having a good day? It's nice of you to pop in. I wasn't expecting you. Let's see here. We're kind of behind. I've never taken this long on a coloring thing before, but I think it's going well. All right, so I'm just gonna come in on her booties and let's see, maybe, well, I'm using a gray, which is okay. And I'm just giving her a little bit more of the definition along the top there. And we're going to add in her. There, I didn't want to do a lot. I just wanted to make sure that it was separate. And we'll just make her little sole a little bit more. There, okay. I think we're done with her, so we can finish our scene. And happy Mother's Day to you as well. Let's see, okay, so I think we're done with her. She's looking pretty cute, I think. Let's go ahead and finish our scene. We gotta get that done. And we're really close. So now we're gonna come back, and the first thing I'm gonna do is, let's see, I better make sure. You know what's nice about this is I've got my, I know this will be in the frame if I follow the, if I follow the ink spaces. All right, so let's get our sky finished. And that was bubbly blue. And where is my bubbly blue? There it is. Sponge. Let's see here. Thank you, Margaret. Has been good. Saw everyone for, oh, that's nice. That's so awesome. Yeah, my son and daughter-in-law will be over today, and they and my daughter are going to cook me dinner. I was telling them earlier today, but I don't think you heard, Kim. Okay, so let's finish the blue. We're going to fill this in, and then we're going to finish the green a little bit more. But we want to just get this in here. Oh, thank you, Kim, for posting that link. Someone was asking for it earlier. And Carrie's posted it up in the comments a ways too, so that's awesome. Thank you. All right, so there's our blue sky. And like I said before, I had kept a couple streaks, so I'm actually going to try to do that just because it almost makes it look like it might still be raining a little. Huh, I don't know. We'll see. So there's that. And now we got to go back over with our trees so that we have the depth of color that we need. So we're going to start again with the Mossy Meadow ones, because those are the ones that are behind the other greens. So I'm going to get that on there, and let's see, I got to move this down just a hair. There we go. That'll work. Northern Lights, yeah, kind of. Oh, and the Krafty stencil, yes, thank you, yes. Let's see, so Mossy Meadow, that's this guy. Okay. So, let's see here. Let's get him in there a little bit darker. Alrighty, that's that one. We're gonna move it and go over here. Markers are in the way here. I'll move it down just a hair. Let's see here. Okay. Oops. Hold on. Hold the phone. All right, here we go. And I'm just kind of concentrating on the outside edge of this because like I said, it's behind the other green one and I don't want to make it too hard to go over it. Oh, that's such a nice pretty green color. Where I grew up, we had a lot of evergreen trees. All right, so then we're switching gears and we're gonna go to the goblin green and we're gonna finish up those, the big trees with the goblin green. Looks like my tree got a little out of focus, but I'm not gonna worry about it. Alrighty, here, there's my okay, let's try that. Green, 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 green. If I went a little dark on the other one, it may not hide behind it, but that's okay. We'll just go with it because it will be fine. All right, there's that one. We're just working our way through our trees again. So we had just sort of laid down the colors so we'd know where we wanted them. And that looks like about the right spot. Okay, let's see here. I lost my dauber. Thank you, Pat. Yeah, this is the goblin green is my, I think that's the one you're referring to, Kathy. This one I'm using right now. The goblin green is my favorite green. I love it. I also really like the chartreuse green. Charming chartreuse. That one's a cool one too. But my favorite, I tend to use this one a lot, is this goblin green. I love it. Alrighty, so we're just moving along here. We are gonna, let's see, that one looks like it might be a tad off. I think this is the hard part about this, the way I did this, is that then it's a little harder to line it up afterwards, but as you can see, we all learn, right? Hi, Sabrina. How are you? Let's see, I better get done here because I'm running into Kim's time. All right, and I may have to just do the fussy cutting. We'll go ahead and put the panel together, and we've colored the image, and then you know that what I do is I'm going to fussy cut the images and put them on here, but I'll just show you how, you know, we will put it all together kind of quickly. And because I don't want to run into Kim's time. I know she's got two or three really cool interactive cards for you guys to do, so. Okay, so those are our trees. Oh, don't rush on your account. Okay, Kim. So there's our trees, and then like I told you in my card, what I did is I just swooshed, swoosh, swoosh, swoosh really lightly, the goblin green. And I'm gonna just put these on there to hold it down a little bit for me so I don't lose it as I'm trying to do this. So I just ever so lightly, I started from here, and I mean, I just kind of, here I am now that I'm trying to do it, I can't, but just ever so lightly. I don't want it to be the same color as the trees, so I'm just really lightly putting it down. I might just have to leave it a little streaky because oh, I'm glad you're good. I'm very glad you're good, Miss Sabrina. Sorry I asked you the question and then I didn't wait to see your answer. Let's see. Okay, so last step on the panel is then I just took the lovely Lagoon ink cube and I went all the way around it directly on the paper to give it a little more dimension. I love ink cubes for this reason. It's so easy to just grab them and do little things like this, and like what we did, the swooshes in the water too. Alright, so just did that. Looks pretty good, huh? And then, where's my base here? Oh, here it is. Okay, so if you remember, here is our rainbow, our raindrop base. And then we're going to place the panel on there. We're going to leave a little more room at the bottom than at the top so that we can stamp our sentiment, which I used my stamping platform for. And I use the Here Comes, or You Bring Sunshine to a Cloudy Day. So I'm going to put that one on there. But now what you do, now that we've got all of this together, is I'm going to fussy cut my ducky. And I'm going to fussy cut my girl, and I'm going to place them on the water where they're splashing in the puddles. I'm going to stamp my sentiment first, and then this whole panel is going to just, where did I put it? Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Kathy. Then I'm just going to lay this panel right on top of my base, glue it down. I'm going to add my characters, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment first just to be on the safe side, and that will be the card. So I'm going to finish it up and I'll post it after the fact. I mean, it should look very much like what we did before, but again, here's the finished one from the other day that I did. So that's what it's going to look like. And thank you so much for sticking with me. That was a long one today. I don't think I've ever done one quite that long. So it was fun. I really loved having you with me today. I hope you've had a lot of fun with the May Madness. And Kim is up next. And I can't wait to see what she's got in store for us. I mean, I kind of know, but I can't wait to watch. So thank you so much. Yes, Kim, I did. I moved that rainy day stencil around lots of times actually, because I wanted to have lots more raindrops. So I just kept kind of moving it around where I wanted it and sponging in the drops so that they had more of them where I wanted them. And I was telling the folks that were watching earlier that it's really easy with that rainy day stencil because there's such nice big spacing in between the drops that you can do that real easily and not worry about getting into one of the other drops. So that is one of the many things I love about that stencil. So anyway, thank you again. Thank you, Roberta. Thanks for being with me. I'm going to sign off so that Kim can have a chance to get set up and going. And thank you very much. Talk to you soon.